Hello all, I'm Sandeep Ligade, working as an assistant professor in A.G. Patil Institute of Technology. In the mechatronics, we are going to discuss regarding the servo motor. So, what exactly a servo motor is? Simply DC motor with an additional intelligent circuitry or some additional mechanism, right? The shaft can be, the position of the shaft can be easily achieved as per the requirement. So servos are basically used in radio control airplanes to position control surface like elevators, rudders, or you can say in walking robot or operating the grippers. So basically, such servo motors are uh, works on the principle of, you can say, PWM, pulse width modulation. As we can see over here, the width of the pulse is varied, and according to that the position of the shaft, okay, it is moved, or you can say rotated. So servo motors can be found in AC or DC manner. When we give the operating voltage, that is DC, so it act as a DC servo motor. When we give the voltage AC, that is AC servo motor. So servo motor comprises of simple DC motor with a gearbox and one sensor that is called as a position sensor. Usually it is a potentiometer, error amplifier, right, and simply a pulse width to voltage converter. Okay, so based on the pulse width, the shaft is moving accordingly. As we can see over here, servo mechanism consists of position sensor, that is a potentiometer, or you can say encoder, gear mechanism that we saw here, that is a gearbox, and intelligent circuitry. So it's a position, complete error amplifier, and pulse width to voltage converter. Based on this, we can achieve the shaft position. So in this motor, what happens is when motor is rotating, at that time there is a movement of the shaft, and its position is continuously monitored by the position sensor. Okay, so position sensor gets the feedback and it gives to the error amplifier, and according to that it changes the voltage level, right? Suppose if you want the 30-degree movement, in 30-degree movement what happens is when the shaft moves to the 30-degree, at that time of the motor, when shaft of the motor moves to 30-degree, right, gearbox accordingly it gives the output angle, okay, 30-degree angle to the position sensor. Position sensor exactly sense the position, that is a 30-degree, and based on that it generates a voltage and it is given to the error amplifier, and accordingly that, okay, the pulse width is managed and gives the output, and it is given output to the motor. In this way it acts. Suppose if you want the, okay, 90-degree angle, so for the 90-degree angle what happens is, for example, just take an example, okay, when motor moves to the 10-degree, according to that the position is sensed and that much amount of voltage is given to the error amplifier, and as per the 90-degree the pulse width is managed, and this compares, it acts as a comparator. Error amplifier means it acts as a comparator. Now there is only a 10-degree movement, okay, only 10-degree displacement. According to that the voltage is generated over here, and we have set here the pulse width of 90-degree, right? So the voltage is less over here. Again it give to the motor, motor rotates to the 10-degree, right? Again gearbox is at 10-degree, position sensor sense that is of 10-degree, right? So it compares. Now here the pulse width is of 90-degree, that's why again the error amplifier increases the voltage, right? So again motor moves to the 20-degree, then gearbox moves to the 20-degree, that the shaft moves to the 20-degree, position sensor sense that it is at 20-degree, so again the voltage generated by the position sensor is again less. Error amplifier compares, right? Again it gives the output voltage which should be greater than the 20-degree. Again motor rotates, gearbox, that is a shaft, rotates up to 30-degree, because it is increasing. So in this increasing manner Okay, when the pulse width we have set to the 90 degree, to till that there is a continuous feedback from the position sensor to the error amplifier and to the motor, right, till the shaft reaches to the 90 degree in this manner continuously. So that's why it is called as an intelligent circuitry. In this manner our servo motor operates. Servo motors are generally as an assembly of four things, that is a DC motor, a gear set, that is a gearbox, okay, or you can say gear mechanism, a control circuit, and a position sensor, usually a potentiometer that we have seen. As the motor rotates, a signal is sent back to the driver to inform it on its current speed and position, that already we have seen. The position can be controlled more precisely than those of standard DC motor. Okay, when we give a supply to the DC motor, continuously it is rotating. Okay, but if you want a certain moment, certain position, that can be achieved with the help of servo motor with a certain mechanism. So usually have three wires, that is a okay power, that is a plus VCC, ground, and control, that is a control signal. Okay, uh, very high accuracy is obtained in this servo motor with the help of encoder, this plus minus, okay, 0.05 degree. A servo motor uses an encoder to achieve accuracy. Okay, advantages: servo motors are a better choice for systems requiring high speed, high acceleration, and high accuracy. The requirement where you want high speed, high acceleration, and high accuracy, over there we can prefer the servo motors. Servo motors are servo motors to be used with gearboxes to deliver much higher torque at useful speeds. Yeah, high torque can be achieved with the help of servo motors as per the requirement of the speed. Okay, high output power relative to motor size and weight. Exactly, motor size and weight matters a lot. Based on that, its torque and power requirement depends. Encoder determines accuracy and resolution. Due to the encoder itself, accuracy and resolution is maintained. So high efficiency, high torque to inertia ratio, has 2 to 3 times more continuous power for short periods. Yeah, that we have seen. Has 5 to 10 times more rated torque for short periods. Available in both AC and DC. Some drawbacks are there, or some disadvantages of servo motors. So servo motors require tuning to stabilize the feedback loop. Yeah, continuously there should be a signal. Hmm. That's why additional circuit is required over there. Servo motor will become unpredictable when something breaks. Okay, so where exactly goes wrong in a servo motor, we cannot predict easily. That's again one more drawback. uh, Complex controller requires encoder and electronic support. Yeah, and peak torque is limited to 1% duty cycle. So these are the different drawbacks, or you can say disadvantages of the servo motors. Applications. Servos are used in radio control airplanes to position control surface like elevators, ruders, walking robot. Yeah, there are so many applications of servo motors in elevators. Okay, in ruders. Ruders means on a boat there is a small, we call that a rudder. We can say plate, which gives the direction to the boat to the left side or right side. When that rudder moves to the left hand side, boat will move to the right hand side. Okay, when that rudder will move to the right hand side, boat will move to the left hand side. To give the direction, the ruders plays vital role, and to control that rudder we use a servo motors. So walking robot, right, in a arm, in a legs, when where there is a typical angles are obtained in a robot, over there we use a servo motors. Operating gripper, where compressed air is supplied to the cylinder of the gripper body, forcing the piston up and down. Yeah, to for the movement of the piston up and down, because the typical movement of the piston is there, up and down, and to give the force to that piston, right, the compressed air is pass over there. Over there we use a servo motors to get that, okay, piston up and down. So these are the basics application of the servo motor. Again, n number of wide variety of applications are there of a servo motors. Okay, so coming to the next point, that is a solenoid, right. uh, Solenoid is also an electromechanical device widely which is used for mechanical locks and mechanical movement by simply giving electrical supply over there, right? So solenoid simply converts electrical energy to mechanical energy. So in solenoid it comprises of, see, you can see over here, there is a coil wounded over here, coil, different coils are there, one two three coils, and that coil when we energize with electrical voltage, right, according to that plunger, this is called a plunger, we can say armature, that armature or plunger attracts towards the excited coil. So that we have seen. Okay, so over here in solenoid consists of a movable Farad core that is activated by current flow. It's a Farad core, you can say, of a plunger. When the coil is energized, a magnetic field is established that provides the force to push or pull the core, isn't it? Then it provides a large force over a short duration. Similarly, solenoid voltage characteristics include pickup voltage, ceiling voltage, and dropout voltage. So simply, a solenoid act as electrical to mechanical force. Okay, electrical energy is converted into the mechanical force, or you can say energy. Okay, there are different types of solenoids available in the market. The classification is made based on the material design and function. AC laminated solenoid, DC C frame solenoid, DC D frame solenoid, linear solenoid, and rotary solenoid. These are the different types. Right? Applications. A solenoid is used to control a valve electrically. Okay, door locks and valves. Okay, next, used in car or washing machine. Similarly, solenoid valves to control the flow of liquid and gases. Advantages: fast response time, low power consumption, remote operation, fits in a variety of machinery and applications, cheap replacement parts, right? Simply there is a small chip is there, so many chips are there for replacement of that. Okay, we use solenoids compatible with both AC and as well as DC, right? Low and high temperature usage, can be installed vertically or horizontally. Biggest advantage, vertically or horizontally can be installed. Disadvantages: sensitive to voltage, the wall can partly close if the magnetic field is not set up correctly. That's again biggest drawback. Okay, the coil may need to be replaced over the lifetime of the wall due to the aging effect. Due to the coil, what happens due to the aging effect, replacement occurs. Control signal must stay on during operation. Continuously there must be a control signal. If there is a loss of control signal, definitely there will not be a movement of the that core. Finally, thank you very much.